All right, guys, how are we doing today? So, for today, this lesson we're going to be doing in science, we're going to be talking about one of the most crucial, important parts of Earth, and that's going to be, yes, water. Okay? As we all know, water is very, very important. It's needed to live, right, in our world for both humans and nature. Water is an important aspect to our living. And what I really want to talk today to you about, and what we're going to learn about and experiment with, is how water, where it's found on Earth. Okay, we all know. I mean, we can think of ideas, right? We can think, well, there's the ocean. We might find water, at our grocery store. It's in a little bottle, right? Or we could maybe think, well, we turn on our faucet and pour it into here, and we got water. Well, the question is, where is that water coming from? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, also, we're going to talk about the idea that water does not necessarily have to just be in the liquid form, right? There's other forms that water can be in. Take an ice cube, for example. An ice cube is not in liquid form, it is in a solid form. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is how water, where it can be found, and then how it can be in a different state. It doesn't necessarily have to be just in liquid. All right? So I have three big questions for you today. What is water? Okay. What does water come from? Where does it come from? On Earth, where is water coming from? And also, why is water important? Okay. Those are three key questions that we need to keep in mind while we're learning today and while we're experimenting. So for today, we're going to do an experiment, and I want you guys, I'm going to pair you up in groups, and you guys are all going to be given a cup of water. Okay. It's going to be filled up similar to how I have mine, and we're going to be experimenting with it, and we're going to discuss how, if we put a lid over this water, if we do it like this and we just leave it, what's going to happen? Okay, that's what we're going to experiment with today. We're going to figure out, well, if I put a lid over this cup of water, what will happen? Okay, that's something that I really, really want you to think about as we experiment today, and I want you to see how water can go from a liquid form to a gas form. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to see how this occurs in this experiment. Now, for example, while we're doing this lesson today, I'm going to be looking for understanding as I walk around and as I observe you all, and I'm going to be watching as you guys complete this experiment, not only with this, but also in something else that I'll talk about shortly. So I want you guys to focus on how water can change from one state to another, how it can go from a liquid to a solid to a gas, and what causes this? What causes water to go from a liquid to a solid? Okay, we're going to talk about that as well. We're also going to be able to take a cup of water outside. Let me take this lid off real fast. We're going to take a cup of water outside and we're going to simply pour it on the ground, and we're going to watch the sun dries up the water, and we're going to observe this and figure out, well, what's going on? What is taking place that is causing the water to go from being visible on the ground to not visible anymore? Okay, so it's two things we're going to focus on today. We're going to focus on this one experiment where we put a lid over our cup of water, and also taking our cup of water outside, pouring it on the ground, and seeing what happens to it. Okay, now I want you guys to think about this. I want you guys to be thinking about certain questions. I want you to think about what's the importance of water, as I said. Where does water come from? And why is water important? And how can it change from state to state? What causes it to go from liquid to solid to gas? All right, so those are certain things that we're going to focus on today. All right, and I believe, let me just double check real fast if that will be it for today. Also, one more thing before we experiment and we get in groups, I want you to be thinking or to be everybody to be focused on discussing with their groups, talking with their peers, getting ideas, sharing ideas. I want you guys all to be. It's very important to maintain a quality discussion, utilizing academic vocabulary. I want you guys to be using terms such as liquid, solid, gas. Uh, just terms that we find where water might come from, certain places such as the ocean or lakes. However, you guys, wherever you find in your research today, I want you to use, just academic vocabulary. I want you guys to focus on. Now, you're all going to have access to your iPad or Chromebook, and you guys are going to be focusing on pulling research or researching on your iPad or Chromebook ways that where water can come from and how it can come from these specific sources. And you're going to be doing this with your partners and your group members. And you're going to be talking amongst each other, and I'm going to be walking around seeing if you guys are indeed understanding the concept. If there is let me see. I believe that is what we will. That will be the that will probably finish us for today. Those two experiments, and if I can, let me just ask you all. Let me just tell you all. After this lesson, you need to be ready to create a Flipgrid video that we will do as more of an assessment to figure out if you did in fact understand the concept. I'm going to be having you guys go home, find a place. Your parents can take you to a place, or you can, if it's outside your house, but find a place where water comes from. And I want you to make a Flipgrid video of you talking about how this is a place where water is found and what causes water to be found in that specific place. Okay, as well as if that place where you are talking from, if that water is a solid, gas, or liquid form. Okay, so be prepared for that after this lesson. So make sure you are focusing and doing all that you need to do in order to be successful today. All right. So if there's no questions, I'm going to put you in groups and we'll start the experiment.